want to talk about Willie Nelson, about the record.
Yeah.
Is there any extra things or anything that's fixed in there?
That's a live off.
That's just all live, right?
That's all live,
Yeah.
yeah.
This whole record was pretty much all live,
That's
right?
right. I overdubbed the bass on a few things, but it's pretty much live, yeah. There's a nice story that goes with the making of this record. I had met Willie, I think it was in Las Vegas on his bus. I said, what was it like when you got started out as a kid? And he said, well, we were a dance band. We played weekend clubs so people could go cheek to cheek or do a two-step. And so we were weekend entertainment because people worked hard all week. They want to have a good time on the weekend. I said, what were the places like? Well, they had booths and different little sections. And so I got excited about this idea and I called my crew. I said, I was renting a theater in Oxnard at the time, kind of a blank canvas. I said, make it like a Texas nightclub with a little bit of a Cuban twist to it, because we had two great drummers joining us, Victor Indrizio and Tony Mangurian. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to make sure that we had everything that Willie remembered about the dance hall, but we had a little bit of a rhythmic twist to it. No headphones. His sister Bobby, I put her at my little Wurlitzer piano. She had her amplifier right there. I said, Bobby, you got two volume controls. One for the Wurlitzer, and this other keyboard is your cello, your little quartet. Mm-hmm. So the quartet button and the Wurlitzer button. You balance them the way you like, and just no headphones, you just play along with everybody. And she had such a good time. And so that's what you're hearing at the beginning of Pick Up the Pieces, if that's what it's called. You can hear Aunt Bobby complimenting Willie. We lost Aunt Bobby a year ago.
I'd like to take a second to talk to you about this channel. This is actually Rick Beato 2. I've had it since the beginning of my main channel, and many of you are not subscribed. As a matter of fact, 87% of the people that watch this channel regularly are not subscribed. So I encourage you to hit the subscribe button on this channel and on my main channel. This will help me get even more of my dream guests and help continue to grow both channels. Thank you.
It's touching.
Yeah.
When it is that's Aunt Bobby playing the left hand on the Wurlitzer, because there's no bass on there.
Right.
So boom, dun, 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 dun. Isn't that sweet?
It's amazing.
And then Mickey Raphael on the bass harmonica. I'm so glad you played that because it has a lot of freedom in it.
Yes.
There's no fixed time on this record.
Right.
So we're just, the time is wide open.
Yeah.
And I can just see myself counting 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, boom, because somebody had to count it in. I think that was me, because we got the, Willie does the intro, free time.
Yep.
And then the groove happens. I think that was...
Now, making a record like that, is that particularly challenging? Because you have to capture everything all at once, and you can't really fix things on that.
No, there's always an element of risk in the air, and that's what's great about it. It's like, are we doing okay? Yeah, we're doing okay. Of course, we haven't had Willie Nelson singing, so it's hard to go wrong in terms of a vocal delivery. Right. Got that beautiful...
what a tone, what phrasing, everything.
Yeah, and what a trooper, you know. We had a nice little scene going because he had his bus or trailer, I forget which one it was, in the parking lot of the theater.
Okay.
And he'd hang out there and wait for me to come out and get him. Okay, Willie, we're ready for you now. We're ready for your close-ups, Willie. He'd come in and we did 2 takes and that was it. Well, more records should be made in 4 days. It'll balance out some of the records I made in England. 2 years.
Is that the longest you've taken is 2 years on a record? Does that seem absurd to you now, looking back?
It's not absurd. It's just what happened on those records.
Yeah.
You know, people were searching for sounds that had never been heard before. I mean, that Willie Nelson record is a beauty, but all the sounds are familiar.
Yeah.
Whereas you listen to Achtung Baby, or some of the, maybe the Peter Gabriel work, you hear things that you never heard before.
Right.
And so to bump into those sounds and to pay attention to them and develop them, that takes a lot of time. You know, we reference Emmylou's record, how I discovered the dulcimers and the 12-string and the multiple string instrument sound. Let's call that the menu of that record.
Okay.
that record, we were lucky enough to hit on a few sounds early on that became part of the menu, and this is what we're going to be serving on this album. All albums have that somehow, or you hope to get to that place, so you're not just repeating stuff you did a couple of years earlier. And so the Willie record, it had its own thing with the Wurlitzer and the cellos and blah, blah, blah. The Emmylou Harris record had its own thing. The Achtung Baby record had its own thing. We made discoveries that belonged to that time, to those projects, and we put them on the menu. We completed the records with those ingredients in mind, and that's why they have a specific personality.
All your records have this sonic consistency throughout the entire record. To me, that's what makes a record a classic record. It's not just having these timeless songs, flagship songs that are massive hits worldwide, but there's a sonic consistency to them. The Joshua Tree, from Red Hill Mining Town to In God's Country to Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, to The Streets Have No Name, to With or Without You, there's just a sound to the record.
Yeah. Well, how does that happen, Rick?
How does that happen? You made the records. How does that happen?
Well, first of all, we don't think about it too much while we're doing it,
Yeah.
other than, maybe there's a pedal that, I brought in a cheap K pedal that became bow, wow, 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 or something like that. Those would be specific gadgets. But what is not a gadget is who people are, and what drives them philosophically, and who they are as soulful human beings. All the things that can't be described by curriculum or otherwise would qualify as things we carry in us as humans for having lived. And when we start working on a record, the exchange that happens includes all of these life experiences that we bring to the table. And if you're in a room with people you admire, then you're welcome.
But you were making, the Joshua Tree was a specific sounding record. The type of instrumentation, the drum sounds, the ambience, the style. Yeah. I mean, if you think of Running to Stand Still or something like that, these are really, only would belong on the Joshua Tree. That record, that would not belong on Achtung Baby.
Well, Running to Stand Still was pretty much an acoustic captured performance. Eno and I in the room with the band, and that's pretty much live off the floor. Mm-hmm. Other things are a little more driven by technology. My good friend Michael Brook had invented this infinite sustain guitar that we use on With or Without You. And it had just come out of the case, and Edge pulled it out. So, wow, let's plug it in and see what's on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I said, well, hang on, let me cue up a track, and let's do a take. We're just trying to. Oh, that was pretty good. Let's try another one. And those are the two final tracks.